Alright, welcome back to another Time Trial Crash 4 episode. So we are going to do the Snacks Dimension, and this is Food Run. This was definitely the easiest, by far, of the 3 levels on this island. Once you kind of get the hang of the cycle here, it's pretty simple. There's not a whole lot to this level, it's just a matter of making your jumps and being on the proper cycle. I honestly recommend jumping across like that. I mean, you can jump across the van, but it's easy enough to jump across like that. And slide jumps here, good too. I don't know if it's any faster, but it's pretty fast. So I'm behind the ghost, but don't worry about the ghost too much. I've said this in other episodes. The ghost time is strange. I still don't really understand the ghost time. Like, you could be ahead of the ghost, but still not get the relic that you're trying to get because you missed boxes or whatever. I don't really understand it. So, I wouldn't worry about the ghost. I just leave it on because it kind of gives me a little bit of a idea how I'm doing, I guess. But, like, as you can see, like, I'm way behind it, but I believe I catch up to it at some point here. Catch up to it. So, this level, the worst part about it, I guess, is like the wall run sections, but the one coming up is pretty easy to do if you use Ika in a pretty manipulative manner. So you want to bounce off of here and don't jump, just fall and then flip twice and then do a double jump to land on the crates. I don't know what time that is in that thing. It might be a 3, so I always went for it. I never checked to see what it was. You kind of can't because it's covered by TNT. So this last part is pretty tricky with flipping the phase things. Well, this isn't technically the last part, but almost. Just be careful there because it gets like more and more things phase differently as you go down the thing. So this part's a little hard. I completely ignore this time box. If I get it, I get it, but otherwise I would just keep going because I was pretty close to the time, I believe, so I just knew I needed to finish. And there's Food Run. Okay, so this level is definitely the level that I wouldn't say I struggled with it because the level isn't really that hard. It's just a matter of getting to the end and making it across that final section with Tana, with all the vans and buses and stuff that speed by. That's the worst part of the whole level. But actually, doing it in the time trial manner is just rough. Like, the time's not even that difficult. It's not necessarily a super fast time, and you have a lot of leeway on this level just because, I mean, obviously you can't move any faster than these characters can move, and there's no way to make them move faster. So you basically just have to sprint through things and hope for the best. So that's kind of how this level goes. It definitely took me a while to get this one, mostly because I'm just not very good at the Tana section at the end, especially under pressure when I have to do it really quickly and try not to waste time, basically. So anyway, I just the dingo dial part I didn't really struggle with. I burned a mask there just because it's not really necessary to hold on to them. Sometimes you can get away with spinning that and not losing a mask, but most of the time you just burn a mask there. I skip these ones right here because I think it's faster to just run down here, hit this 2, and just keep moving. Those 2 seconds aren't going to make much of a difference for you, and honestly, I think you're going to burn those 2 seconds just standing there vacuuming up the boxes. So sometimes that's not always good to go for boxes. Like that was a waste. I shouldn't have even done that. I probably could have just kept going and it would have been fine. So I spin these here. Usually you don't get hit by that nitro. And then this section's kind of tricky, but honestly, It's not too bad. If you have the mask here, it's really good. You do pick one up right here, actually, so it's good to have that. And honestly, when you get that mask and you blow up these TNT over here to get these time crates, the last thing is kind of like how it was in the regular level. There's some boxes over here. And just take a hit if you really want to get them, or just completely skip them like I do, because, again, it's not really worth the amount of time it takes to get them for the 2 seconds. But now we have Tana's part, and I mean, Tana's part I would say is arguably harder than Dingodile's part. I mean, obviously the ending is the hardest part, but she has a lot of rail sections, and it's a lot of using her hook shot to get boxes off at a distance and jumping over things, and it's just her part's kind of chaotic, to be honest. So I usually always try to jump to the wall there, and since I landed on the wall kind of low, the mask killed that enemy, which kind of sucks, but it just is what it is. So the next rail section here does involve some more jumping and hook shotting, so you should know this by now because you've probably done this level enough times if you're even doing time trials. But I don't know, some people I guess like to do time trials before they collect all the gems and stuff. Be careful killing that guy like that. I would recommend hookshotting the TNT, but it's definitely faster to just kick him. Same thing there. If that firebox is not active, definitely just kick those boxes instead of hookshotting. It would save you probably half a second. With time trials, any amount of time you can save is definitely helpful. So if you miss this switch right here, it's not a big deal. It only unlocks that 2 box, so that 2 seconds isn't going to make a huge difference for you either. In my case, it did, but you know, as long as you get to the end in enough time, you're going to have like 30 to 40 seconds to make it across the final sequence. So those stack of boxes that are in the foreground there, when you get up that ledge, has a TNT in it, so make sure you hook shot it instead of kicking it, because kicking it will blow you up. And then just gonna make our way to the rest of the rail section. This is the final rail section, which is a lot more jumping, a lot more gate opening, a lot more hook shotting, just a lot more of everything. We gotta do a jump hook shot here. Final box here, and then make our way across to the final part of the level. This part's pretty simple. There's nothing to worry about here like there is in the Insanely Perfect run. You don't have to worry about that firebox because you don't even need to jump on it. So I get here at about 3:10. The platinum time is 3 minutes and 40 seconds. So I have about 30 seconds to get across here, which I did pretty well. I mean, I panicked right here, which I used my hook shot, and I didn't really need to anyway because I had landed on the bus before, whatever you saw. So it wasn't super necessary, but if you do make a mistake like that, just hook shot because it will end up saving you. But I made it across unscathed, and there is the time trial for Rush Hour, which is really just a pain in the ass. It's not even really super difficult. Alright, so the final level is the Crate Escape, and this level was the worst. I already set a time, you can see it was 2:21, and the platinum time is 1 minute and 47 seconds, so I was like, how in the hell am I going to make up that much time? And it took me forever and ever, and I ended up getting it at like literally I was like, this is my last attempt, and I got it. So it's a Cortex level in the beginning, and then the final sequence is just one of the worst things I've ever done in a Crash game, I'd have to say. So there were so many times where I would make it all the way through the Cortex part, like completely flawless, and if I would have just made it through the Crash part, I would have probably gotten, well, I don't know if I would have gotten close to the Toys for Bob time, but it was fast, so like, anyway. I always try to shoot this one. I often miss it because that one's just harder to get than the, like you saw me shoot the 2-1 back there. This part's pretty tough too. This is probably one of the hardest parts of Cortex's part. You have to time this thing here so you don't get smashed, and it's just crappy. But you want to dodge into it while it's down so that when it opens at the last second, you kind of get inside it and then you can dodge out real quick. So make your way through here quickly. I like to go up top like that and then dash through the last 2. Dash up these steps. And dash through the box. Shoot the 2. Shoot the TNT. Try not to lose a mask, but if you lose a mask, it's not a big deal. You don't have to go across that way. You could go across as it's closing. Whichever way you want to do it is up to you. And then turn this guy into jelly here. Hopefully in your first attempt so that you don't waste time. Dash across, turn the bottom guy into jelly, and you want to at least shoot the middle guy and then turn the top guy into jelly, but I messed that up. It wasn't very clean. You don't need to go through the middle section, just jump straight up to the top and then jump straight up to here, bounce off this box, and then dash over so you can not use the elevator. Elevator just take more time, obviously. So you're going to dash your way across these and get to the safe platform, and then the final platforms don't fall, but they move, and there's nitro. So you're going to run straight to the end of them and just dash straight across. Platform will be there, I promise. Now this part is awful, and I hate it. Hated every second of it. I hated it in the regular level. It was never fun. It just sucks. There's nothing else to say about it. It's just awful. I don't have any tips for it. I got lucky. 100%, and I'll take it. It's good enough for me. The time worked, and I actually fall off here, but luckily I was over the platform and I got the time. So that's that, and that is all the time trials for the snacks dimension. All the platinum relics, at least. I mean, all that is left is Cortex Island, and that will be all the time trial episodes. So I will see you in the final episode. Have a good one.